Okay, welcome. My name is Colonel Denny Peoples. This is from Prescott, Arizona, Air Force Junior ROTC. We're lucky here today to have an exchange student with us named Lucas Kuipers. Sort of. I didn't exactly pronounce it right. Anyway, he's from the Netherlands. And so it's a rare opportunity to be able to talk to someone from a different country in remote Arizona like we are. And so we're going to have 20, 30 minutes of a hometown hero visit, as we call it here in Prescott, to learn about life in another country. The Netherlands, this is right off of Wikipedia. You see a picture of their flag. They have French and Dutch spoken there. When I was a high school kid in South Carolina, you said the word Deutsch, Dutch, Deutsch. A lot of times I thought that was German. That's not. D-E-U-T-C-H-E, is Deutsch. And that can be learned as German, but Dutch is Netherlands, which the capital is Amsterdam. And so you think about that in your mind. It's not Germany or anything to do with Germany at all. One thing for us to be realize in America is that the size of the countries are a lot different. The Netherlands, we just looked it up, has about 16,000 square miles as their country. And if you look at look at the counties here in Arizona. We are now here in Yavapai County, has about 8,000 square miles. So that's about, his country is about twice as big as our county. But Coconino, which is the largest county in Arizona, is about 18,000 square miles. So our largest county is bigger than his country. Okay, it's kind of unusual for America to think about it. When we go over there, we go, man, everything's so small. When they come over here, all my European friends go, oh gosh, America's so big. So that's kind of the way it works. Also, I'm going to show you here on Google Earth where we're talking about so that we can learn geography. Basically, across the Atlantic, there's Florida and the seaboard. Across the Atlantic, we actually get to Europe. And everybody's heard of England, okay? And I know that I was stationed in England for a time. This island here of England is the size of our state of Michigan, okay? Just for our perspective, it's much smaller than Arizona. And then across the English Channel, it's called the North Sea, is a couple countries, Brussels and the Netherlands. And we're talking specifically for Lucas here is the Netherlands, okay? Basically a very low-lying country, not many hills, not many mountains, no mountains that we would call. And that's kind of one of their specialties is how they've actually harvested the ocean into dry land and expanded their land to live on modern days. They've done this for hundreds of years, thousands of years probably. So anyway, I'll introduce you now Lucas, and I'll run the internet for you.
All right, sounds good. Hello guys, how are you all doing? As what the Colonel just stressed, it's an opportunity to talk to someone from another country. So just, if any questions pop up, just ask them, because this is about educating you guys to something that I know. At least something about it, right? So, ask that if anything pops up, and let's get started. First of all, a very common misconception from pretty much everyone in America is referring to the Netherlands as Holland. It's incorrect. Even referring to Holland is incorrect. Since around over here, this is North Holland, that's South Holland, and those are just provinces in the Netherlands. So referring to Holland would mean referring to two specific provinces in the Netherlands instead of all of it. I myself, and do I have some kind of...
You don't have do we have a stick to point? Where do you need to point to?
About the north.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that, yeah, that's where I live, this area.
Okay.
We can show that on the map actually, on Google Maps.
Okay.
We should have just typed
Sneak or
Snake.
Snake?
I live in Yoda.
Okay. All right.
I might actually be able to scout out my house.
This is something very unusual for Arizona people. What does all that green mean?
Grass.
That doesn't exist in Arizona. Okay?
That's something natural to us.
One thing that is very neat, honestly, about all of Europe is they have a lot of people, but they're generally concentrated, and they have very strict building codes, right? You couldn't go buy this farm here and turn it into condominiums. Maybe, but not easily like America, right? Okay, so you want to see if you can show them their
Yeah, I
house?
think I can
Go ahead,
actually-
go ahead.
This one was made in 2004.
Well, again, I promise there's not much difference between now, because Europeans live in the city in general, and when they have protected countryside, they're very, very strict about the development. There's no, they have a lot different land owner rights. They basically don't have rights like America. It's a lot different. So then with the, let me show you. This is,
my street. Yeah.
okay.
Found it.
Okay, look how large the streets are, guys. Why is that?
One way. Small car.
They don't have
it's not one way.
SUVs, they don't have trucks, that doesn't exist over there, they have cars. They have something.
Anyway, that's where I live.
Okay, everybody around the applause,
I'll find you
yay! You
now.
go inside? How come there's not an American flag on that pole?
Can I come visit?
That looks a little different than our Arizona perspective,
I
that's
think I'll take your
perfect.
suitcase and just.
That's perfect. So again, these are generally not one-way streets, but one-car streets, basically, right? So you
well,
sort of pull
you
over.
can pass it with 2 cars. I mean, it looks a bit small, but it's reasonably big.
A lot of times, but look at how everything's built differently, guys. You see how steep the architecture is? Look at these are paved. These are paved stones. This is not asphalt being laid out.
Yes.
How big are the streets relative to ours, like what you've seen in Arizona? I mean, Arizona, even for the States, from what I've heard, has very large, wide streets. Like my dad went and visited Seattle to see my uncle, and he said it was just tiny lanes. So,
Well, that is very true, especially if you drive through most towns and cities. Especially in the big cities, like you don't want to drive there ever. If you were to turn a corner, and most people cut the corners, which is really annoying, if you don't stop, like you have to, you turn to the right, and someone's coming from the other side, you will cut the corner, and if you don't stop there, you will crash. The roads are small. Like you seriously have to keep on your side of the road, or else things will go very bad.
What side of the road do you stay on there?
The right side.
So it's just like this. England's
Yeah.
opposite. England, you stay on the left, so it's different.
there are actually a lot of cities and things that do run left.
And that's also because the roads are smaller and the driving is a whole lot different, and generally, in my opinion at least, sorry if you guys take offense, it's harder in Europe because it's all very close together, so there isn't a lot of space.
Your neighborhood is gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Alright, what is this called, guys?
They're everywhere in Europe.
Rotonde.
Say it?
Rotonde.
I thought you said a donut.
In Europe, in general, guys,
Many of those in Phoenix.
they do not have as many stoplights as we have. They have roundabouts, and you don't ever stop at an intersection. You keep going.
Yeah.
Here it's right, so the drivers would go right around, and but the tricky part, each country has different rules about the roundabout. Or maybe it's different with the EU now.
Yeah.
Who yields in a roundabout?
The one that wants to merge into it.
So once you're in the roundabout, you gotta stop for people to come into it.
No, it's the other way around. If you're in the roundabout, you can keep going.
Okay, you're in the roundabout, you can keep going. Okay, so these things vary. Different countries do differently.
Do you have your license in?
I don't. You can start with your driver's license when you're 16. You can get it once you're 17, but if you're still 17, you have to have a special licensed elder person who will sit next to you while you're driving until you're 18.
Basically a permit like we do.
Sort of, but you have to have a supervisor next to you at all
Until
times.
18, so you can't drive alone until
Yeah.
18. A little different, guys.
And also the driving lesson, which was quite a difference for me at least. You guys can get it with a few lessons. We have to take like 50 lessons. Back in the Netherlands, we have to take all kinds of exams, and that's, again, generally because it's all close together, so there isn't as much space, so the driving becomes harder because of it. So we have very thorough driving lessons. Yes.
How often does it rain in the Netherlands?
About 2/3 of the day I have at least some form of downfall.
Okay, repeat that slowly so they can understand what you're saying.
Around 240 days out of a year have at least some sort of downfall, meaning rain, mist, snow, anything.
So
Somewhere in the Netherlands.
So Arizona has been a giant change for you.
Pretty much only sun, yes. That's not something I'm used to. The rain right now is actually awesome for me.
You're like, oh.
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, he told me about this videotape here. It's 5 minutes. How do you pronounce that? Friesland?
Friesland.
Friesland. Everybody say Friesland. Sort of roll the R. It's not like Friesland. Okay, and that's your county or is it your state?
That's my province.
Your province. Okay.
So
So we're going to play this, and I hope all the technology works, and check this out. Okay? Is this
Think
turned
that
on?
this volts? Which one is it?
Follow.
Okay, it's not working there.
Your audio already.
Is this on, guys?
This is just a little video about the province that I live in. Yeah, it's just a general summary of what we do.
Okay.
You're
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Well, let's. There we go.
Dude, God will mess you up bad.
capital violent, what's in green?
Hello, let's get right down to business. For those of you who don't know Friesland or you've never been, we are here, to be precise, in Leeuwarden, the capital of Friesland. That's here. Of course, that's not what Heerenveen says. They think differently because they've got football or something. Of course, Friesland is world famous for its pedigree, Frisian cattle, Frisian cows, dairy, lots of dairy, all very healthy. Some say we have more cows than women. We have Frisian horses, and you may have heard of the Elfstedentocht, the Vieljoppe, Kaatsen. And if that doesn't do it for you, Famke Janssen, MC Escher, Peter Stuyvesant, Mata Hari. The Frisian flag you probably know. Frisians are quite proud. They've got their national symbol bandied about everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Soon they'll have their own Frisian passport. Yeah, they have that already. Now, contrary to what many Europeans think, especially the Danes, these are not hearts, but heart-shaped leaves, better known as bolteblad. The bolteblad is the Frisian word for the leaves of the yellow water lily and the white water lily, hence the red color. Makes perfect sense. The 7 pompelbladen are thus 7 red lily leaves on the Frisian flag. The 7 pompelbladen are very important for the Frisians. Why? Because the flag recalls the good old days of the 7 Zeelanden. Est-Friesland, Westergo, Oostergo, Hunzingo, Fivelingo, Emsingo, and Jeverland. Strange, all those O's, because Frisian names usually end with ma or stra. Boomsma, Dijkstra, Hoekstra. Friesland you probably already know from their own unintelligible Frisian language. Caution, do not call Frisian a dialect. That could cost you your life. Well, earlier anyway. Or, as a famous fierce Frisian, Grutte Pier, once said, boter, brei en groene cheese, wat dat niet zeggen is geen opperjochte Fries. If you can pronounce this, then you're a real Frisian. Friesland. Makes you think about the skating championships in Tialf. In a packed stadium, they listen to a Frisian Oompa band and they watch the skating, and Frisians can get pretty noisy. This is likely to ease the pain because it's been so long since they've had their classic Elfstedentocht 11-city skating tour. In short, Friesland is a lovely, large, green, and water-rich province with great natural beauty. And, of course, a world of talent. Beautiful people, beautiful boys, and, oh yes, beautiful girls. We've got Doutzen, beautiful land, lakes, the Wadden Islands, parks, and open country. Olympic Epke, the 11-city tour. The PC, Usman, Usheit, ooh, that's a beer. Or perhaps you've already had an unforgettable vacation on one of our beautiful Wadden Islands. Each island has its own character, and if you want to do something really strange, you can even walk between them. You can go on a tour, go sailing, or even faster, fly, although some choose to simply fall. A beautiful province with hospitable and hardworking people. A place where you're free to follow your heart's desire and be one with nature. Here you can literally feel the nature in your hair. But seriously, Friesland offers more, much more, you name it. Business-wise, Friesland has a lot to offer. They know how to make money in an honest way. They're not afraid of challenges, and one way or another, they stay relaxed about it the whole time. Just picture it. Your annual meeting is coming up. For years you've booked the same location and you always have the same result. That goes without saying. It geen oors. Oars? Ah, of course. Friesland. What else? Experience the myriad possibilities. The peace and open space of Friesland is of course beautiful, and somehow people think the distance between Amsterdam and Leeuwarden is much longer than Leeuwarden and Amsterdam. And once you're near Friesland, you already notice the difference. In Friesland, it's a bit different. That may take some getting used to. This also applies to our meeting locations. When you first get there, the reality can be somewhat confusing. Of course, you know all the standard meeting locations with so many chairs, so many tables, blah, 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 even more boring. You might as well choose something more fun, right? If you've already discussed the important things, there also must be time for some fun. And wherever you go in Friesland, there's always an activity that fits you. After a hard day of meetings and relaxing, you don't want to jump into another traffic jam to get home. Why not have a one-night stand? One-night stay. We have about 450 rooms available in the center of Leeuwarden and more than 1,100 beds within a half-hour radius. And we can host conventions for up to 3,500 people. To review. Did I say this already? I'll say it again. Come to Friesland. Friesland is versatile. We have locations in the woods, on the water, on an island, and in the city. The only thing we're missing are the mountains. Although, Friesland fascinates. The rustic and the active. The culinary and the